Good morning, good morning, good morning, Lois. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday Musings again. Um, how are you? I know you've been battling a little bit under the weather, and I guess change of seasons does that. Sometimes I get sick when it changes from warm to cold in the fall and winter. So I need to make sure that I get my little flu shot done. But yeah, how are you feeling?
I, I'm better. My throat is just, right here.
Burning, huh?
I'm still not sure if I'm gonna start coughing a lot.
Oh,
It's not 100%, so I hope I
okay.
get through this. I've been
Okay.
trying to do a little bit, but it's
We're all
been
rooting for you to get
it's
better.
been a rough week, rough couple weeks.
Yes, it has been a rough couple of weeks.
I'm in various ways, but that all kind of hit really fast after um we got out of Halloween. Um, it just kind of was like, bam,
Wow.
let's throw this on you. And I wasn't prepared.
Right. And you were busy, busy, busy all day preparing for the little Halloween get together that you had at your home. So I'm sure that with, lack of sleep and running around trying to get things together, that kind of ran you down a little bit as well. And that's when they zap you. When you run down a little bit, you get zapped. So rest is important, liquids is important, and rejuvenation is important. So we want you back, Lois, 100%. So we're rooting for you to get well. And not just you, but I'm having some problems with a tooth on my right side. I think I need to have a root canal. And I do believe it's now affecting my eye on the right. And this is a challenge for me because um, that's the eye that I almost lost. So I've had trauma in that eye before. So the nerve in the top tooth that needs to be fixed is probably running up to the eye and it's now beginning to hurt. So I'm going on that on Monday to get that taken care of. So that's going to be major trauma for me because I do not like dentists. As you know, I don't like needles, period. So to get needles and then to get several to take care of this tooth is going to be a challenge for me. Other than that, it's been a challenge with my technology, and thankful to say that I do have a new computer now. So I will be resuming my podcast very soon. I've already started to interview and do discovery calls with my guests. But all my previous data, of course, has been lost, and that's a heartbreaking situation. But we must move on, right? We must move on from where we are. And so I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about that moving forward from where we've had a setback, moving forward from when we've had a challenge that has kind of stopped us, or at least we think it stopped us somewhat. And then how do you pick up the pieces and move forward anyway? So it's been a challenge in terms of that. But I will say that I felt kind of relieved when I was able to have my first interview that it was I was back on the road again, even though some parts of it are missing. It's a new path I have to beat. It's a new path that I have to carve. And I know for you, Lois, when things happen, we have to then adjust, right? Do you want to tell us a little bit about anything like that that's happened to you where I know this is an adjustment for you because your parents are in town and you having to still entertain, still have family stuff, still do your family thing and not be feeling 100%. I know
Well,
that's a
and
challenge.
I'll tell you too, like we just got a puppy and I forgot what it's like to raise a baby.
Yes.
Um, so I'm sick and tired and getting up in the middle of the night as well.
Oh.
Um, and that path, my husband's helping. He's a good helper. But we're taking turns. He's been really good to help while I'm been in this major sickness.
Oh.
But he's tired too because he's had sickness, and so we're forging ahead. But I've been outside a lot just looking ragged.
So
And
two
my,
sickies together trying to make it work.
I think my neighbors are getting a kick out of it. But yeah, sometimes it's not like there's a big life secret to winning the day. It's just doing it.
Yeah.
You're just plodding ahead, and it feels like you're slogging through mud,
Yes.
and it doesn't feel good,
It doesn't.
and it's hard, and it feels terrible, and it's okay. It's okay sometimes just to acknowledge that life doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And I think we forget that in positivity culture, that sometimes we need to acknowledge that it doesn't feel good. Because when we can acknowledge where we are, then we can get somewhere better.
Yeah.
And when it's too positive, I get really discouraged sometimes, you know? Positivity and light is great to a point. But when you start disregarding where you are, it's not a good thing.
Well, just the reality of life. If you're not acknowledging the reality of life and what it deals you when it deals you things and deals you the cards that you're dealt, then you're not being realistic about where you are. Like you say, you're in a make-believe, and that's not necessarily a good thing either. You do have to acknowledge where you are, and you do have to realize that life doesn't always get like what did he say? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to pick, and it's not a bowl of cherries. Um, Sometimes you get some bad ones in there, and so you've got to deal with those bad ones or throw them out and go dig again for the good one. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's not always going to be hunky-dory. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. Sometimes you're going to have some challenges in life, and some of those challenges are going to be really challenging. But how we respond to those challenges is going to make the difference for the outcome. And so you keep moving forward, knowing that it's going to get better, or it has to get better, and that there's only one way up from coming down. You got to go up, right? So if you have that in mind and keep that in the back of your mind and keep that as your focus, then you keep slogging through that mud, picking up one foot and putting it down, and picking up the other one and putting it down, and moving through that mud, because you're going to get onto dry land soon. So having that reassurance is what keeps you going. So yeah, I got to keep going, and so do you. And you got to get well. I have to reacclimate with this new computer and season 2 of the podcast, and with this pain in my eye that is now being affected from my tooth and all the other things that are going on. My friend is still, healing from the loss of her mother, and I'm having to be there for her for that. So just being able to adjust and, keep life moving along with the good with the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So yeah. So I know that some of you are dealing with things out there, and some of you may be at the good part in your life, and some of you may be at the bad part in your life. But just know that this too shall pass, and it's not going to last. And if you keep moving and keep striving, then you'll get through it. And get the support that you need when you need it. Get the support and get the rest, or get the break that you need when you need it, so that you can keep striving. All right, so have a great Monday, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Anything else you want to share with them before you go? I don't want to have you use your voice too much.
We'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon. Have a great one. Bye for now.